All right. So when it comes to the cloud computing, first thing that you need to understand is like we are doing this computing task through the cloud, not just through our device, right? Like to perform the cloud computing, we need a device anyway, as well as we need the internet connection. Right? Without an internet connection, we won't be able to do the cloud computing concept or like to experience the cloud computing. So when it comes to the cloud computing, there are several different services that is given by the cloud computing. And these are the three major services that you have to understand: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Right? So those are the services that we are going to discuss, but there are many other services regarding the cloud computing. So what kind of services are these? Infrastructure as a service. Now, like when we need to store something, or like when we need to save something in our computer, we got our system unit, and this system unit has a hard disk, right? So inside this, the hard disk is there. So like inside the hard disk, you can do the storing part, right? So when you are storing the things inside your hard disk, it is the infrastructure given to you by your computer system to store data, right? So you are storing inside your hard disk, your computer's hard disk. So if anyone need to access those data, they need to on your computer specifically, and they have to access the particular data or the disk, right? But infrastructure as a service, when it is given by the cloud, we are not going to save our data into our local storage. Local storage means this, the storage that I am having with my system unit, right? My physical computer. Instead of that, we will take in a place from the cloud, and that particular cloud, inside the cloud, we will be given the chance to store our data. So like storing need a hard disk. Hard disk is the infrastructure that we are having to store data. But when it comes to the cloud computing, cloud provides us the space to store data inside it. So the cloud storage, or like the storage area in the cloud, is not belongs to us. It is a service given by the cloud. So we are given a particular username and a password. With use of those, we can access to our storage and all the stuff that we have in the cloud, right? So it is an infrastructure given by the cloud. So we don't have a specific storage with our computer when the cloud is providing the hard disk space, or like the storage space, like kind of an infrastructure. So for your security, we are having some antivirus software, right, installed into our computer, right? So this antivirus software will take care of the viruses. It is not allowing the viruses to come in the system. It will prevent. Right now, when it comes to the cloud computing, cloud itself have their antivirus mechanism, right? So it is not only for us, it is for everyone who is using the cloud. So since we are a part of it, we are given the same facility which is given to the others as well. So we don't need to install a particular antivirus software when we are using the cloud computing. Cloud protect us as an infrastructure service that is given by it. People, is that clear? Okay, great. And the next one is about the platform as a service. Now, platform means the place which allow us to develop the softwares, right? As well as platform allow us to run our applications, run our other applications as well, right? So now, if you think about my local computer, this is a Windows platform computer. So it has the Windows operating system, which allow all these programs to be run on it, right? So in there, I can use Pascal, I can use Python as the programming languages to develop the programs, right? So that kind of a service is given by the operating system. So without having an operating system, I won't be able to use none of these softwares. So neither I will give it the chance to do the programming, because Python, Pascal are programs which needs to be installed onto the Windows operating system. So without the operating system, I won't be able to install any other software. But when we have the cloud computing, cloud provide us this particular operating system or the platform services for us to do the programming and the building part on that, right? So cloud is also working as a platform in that scenario. Right now, if you think about the Google Drive or the Google platforms that they are providing us, right? In this list, there is something called, there is something for Google developers. Let me show you. As I remember, I got a particular app under the products, right? Let me browse all the products. Yeah, so these are the products which is given by the Google, right, which act as a cloud services. Now for Drive, we know like it allows us to store things. So as an infrastructure, it is allowing, right? So as I remember, they have this development area as well. Let me check. Earlier it was dev or something like that. Oh, it seems they have taken that out. Hold on. No, it seems they have taken that out as well. Or maybe renamed it. Yeah, let me search for it in between. So I'll let you know how the things are going to happen. All right. Hold on. It's there for developers. They have categorized things. See, this is for developers, AdMobs, analytics, Android, right? Those kind of things. So we have a lot of things which can develop many different things, right? So this environment is given by the Google. So it's a certain cloud, right? So that is what you call platform as a service, which is given by the Google, which is given by the cloud computing, right? And when it comes to the software as a service, again, I can show you the same place, because these are some applications that we use. So that means those are apps, softwares, right? So this is given by the Google or like the cloud computing stuff again, right? So if I want to use a particular application in my computer, I have to install it into my hard disk as a program, right? But if I have a cloud service, I really don't need to install any particular application. Instead of that, cloud will provide me different kinds of applications which use for different kinds of purposes. Sometimes it won't allow you, or it won't give you the exact thing that you want. Right now, if you want a software like word processing, like MS Word, Microsoft Word, you won't be able to find something very much looks alike Microsoft Word, other than if you are like using their cloud computing facility, right, which is Office 365. But here you have docs, something familiar or like something looks alike the word processing software, right? So it is having the same facilities, but different appearance, different experience will be there, right? So likewise, these three services will be there: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. And advantages and disadvantages are here regarding the cloud computing. So like the advantages will be lower software cost, right? Because I don't need to spend on the softwares. It is given by the cloud. Improve performance, because when the cloud computing is there, they always try to give their best for the users, right? They have all the new technologies, high performing machines, high performing servers. The only thing you need is a very good internet connection. If your internet connection is lacking, or like if it is slow in connecting things, then of course cloud computing is going to be a headache for you, right? Fewer maintenance issues. I don't need to maintain on my storages. I don't need to maintain on my softwares, right? Instant software updates, of course, because like you have experienced it, right? When you have an Android phone, when you have an Apple iPhone, so they give you the updates instantly up and there. But if you are having a local software which is installed into your hard disk, you have to find the update or you have to download the update to install with your software. Yeah, does it those kind of things can be happen due to security purposes, but it will not block the capabilities of the programmer, right? They may have some restrictions, right? But your task is always can be performed, right? And disadvantages: requires a constant internet connection, does not work well in low speed internet connection. Yes, that is the only disadvantage we got, right? Other than that, we can access it from anywhere, from any place or from any device in the world. When you are having the authorization, you only need a browser to access the particular cloud service. All right. Are we clear about that, people? Yes, people? Is it clear? Right, great. Okay, so let's quickly write this thing down. Then we can move to the next topic or the next lesson, actually, the multimedia one. Okay, have the heading, cloud computing. Copy this down, people. All right, so the power has been disconnected, people. So we enter to the battery mode. We'll see how long it's going to last. Okay, are we done, everyone? Anyone who is still writing? Okay, so we are moving to the next subtopic. So under the cloud computing, infrastructure as a service. And people, hold on. Have a subheading, main services of cloud computing. This is going to be your subheading, main services of cloud computing. Right, so this is the blue color part is going to be your subheading. Then under that, number 1, infrastructure as a service. Yeah, this needs to be written. Yeah, it's better we write the example as well, people. We can't omit any of those. Yeah, we have to go through the entire part, people. So just write it down quickly. Let me know when you are done, people. Yes, people. Are we done? Okay, one is done. How about others? Anyone who is still writing? Okay, so in the same way, you have to write about the software as a service as well. All right. Are we done, people? Okay. Anyone who is still writing? Right. So to finish this up, you take down the advantages and disadvantages, right? You can have it in any format you want, right? I only need to mention these things: advantages of the cloud computing and the disadvantages. Yes, people, are we done? Okay, one is done. How about others? All right, anyone who is still writing? Okay, great. So we can move to the next lesson, people. So this is done. So it's the multimedia that we are going to discuss. Now, through this lesson, you are going to learn 4 different softwares. All four are for multimedia purposes. One is for the graphic editing, which we are going to use the GIMP software. And we are going to create a small animation using Vectorian G11. And we are going to see some audio editing stuff using Audacity, as well as we are going to create a small movie, that means a small video clip, using Windows Movie Maker. All right, all 4 softwares are freely available for you to download from the internet. So if you just search for the name, you can get the links, right? Right. So let's see what to be done with the graphics. First, we are going to talk about the graphic editing software first. So first of all, we need to identify some of the qualities of the digital graphics, because without identifying these things regarding a graphic, we won't be able to do the editing as we want, right? There will be some the mispoints or like the misfits when we are creating a particular graphic without having the knowledge of the qualities of a good graphic, right? So generally, yeah, sorry for that, people. Some communication error happened, right? So regarding a graphic, we need to consider about these things, right? About the pixels. Yeah, Sasrika, you have to find an older version and you have to install it. I will send you the links so you will be able to download the things, right? So you have to learn about the pixels, you have to learn about the resolutions, size, and color before you like move into a graphic editing part, right? So when it comes to the pixels, pixel is considered to be the smallest unit that you can see it on a screen, right? So pixel is generally come as a square, a small tiny square, right? And the arrangement of pixels will arrange a particular graphic, right? So if you think about it, you should have the idea, or you should have the expression that this pixel should have some colors to create a graphic, right? So pixel should have a color, and the collection of colorful pixels will create a graphic, right? And remember, it is very small in size. Now, in the example that is given in your book, they have shown this particular flower, a zoom picture of this particular flower. So it is being zoomed to 3,200%, right? So it's a very big magnification, right? So when you magnify it like that, you will be able to see a pixel of a quality picture, right? If your picture is low in quality, you will be able to see a pixel very soon, like with a small magnification, you will be able to see a pixel, right? But if the if the picture is very in good in quality, then of course you have to expand it or magnify it for a little longer time for you to see the pixel. So anyway, pixel is the smallest part that they use to create a picture. An array of pixels will create a picture for you, right? So one particular row is called as a pixel row, and one particular column is called as a pixel column. So collection of rows and columns will create a pixel array, right? Which will create the picture ultimately. And if you can see, like in this picture, you can see there are many hundreds, or like it's kind of 100, yeah, hundreds of pixels over here. You can see each and every pixel is having some different color. Some are in the same color, some have very closer shadings, and some have different colors, if you think about the pixels. So of course, pixel is the one which gives the colors to your graphic. So what is the relationship in between the pixel and the colors? And people, this is what I told you. If the picture is low in pixels, or like that means if the picture is low in quality means you are having less amount of pixels, right? When you expand it, or like when you magnify it 1 or 2 times, then you will be able to see the picture. And when you are able to see the pixels, your picture is definitely not in a clear manner, right? Or in a clear frame, right? It is being blurred because it is being expand, or like it is being enlarged until we see a pixel, right? So එතකොට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට picture එක blur වෙනවා. ගොඩාක් අපි zoom කරන නිසා, right? And as I told you, pixel is the one who is giving the colors to the picture. So how much of colors that a pixel can have, that depends on the bits, number of bits that is being used to create a pixel. If a pixel is created out of 1 bit, that pixel can contain 2 colors, right? Because 1 bit can have 2 states, like 0 and 1. So 0 can be used to indicate a 1 color, and 1 can be used to indicate another color. So that means if you are increasing the number of bits inside a pixel, or number of bits that is used to create a pixel, or in other case, if you are creating a heavy pixel, that means you will be able to show many different colors out of it. So when it have 1 bit, only 2 colors. When it have 2 bits, you can create 4 colors, because 2 bits will give you 4 combinations. And when you have 3 bits, you will be able to create 8 colors. 3 bits will give you 8 combinations. If you can remember what we have done for logic gates, when only 1 input, there is only 2 rows in the truth table, right? The same relationship goes here. When there are 2 columns, there are 4 rows. So likewise, when there are 2 bits inside a pixel, it can represent 4 colors. So likewise, this equation will give you the idea how a pixel and the bits inside it related with to take many different colors into it. So the colors per pixel used can be represented as a 2 to the power bits per pixel. So how many bits are there in a pixel? If you take it as a 2 to the power, you will be getting the number of colors that it can represent, right? So as well as you can go it in other way around as well. So if you are given the number of colors that a pixel can represent, you can find how many bits are being used to create a pixel, right? So here is a very good example that they have given you what's happened when the number of bits inside a pixel has been increased, right? So it's the same size of pixel, but the only difference is like we have used many different bits to use that pixel, to create that pixel, right? So just 1 bits per pixel, it will give you 2 colors. When there are 2, it will give you 4. Likewise, when there are 3, you can create 8. You can represent 8 colors, right? When there are 4, you can represent 16. So look at the numbers. When there are 16 bits, you can represent 60,000, 65,000 odd number of colors. When there are 24, it's almost 16.7 million colors. It's a huge one, right? When there are 32, it's like 4,294 million colors. It means 4 billion, right? 4 billion colors can be created, right? So it's huge. That is why when it comes to this point, our color shadings are much complex inside this. So if you look into the 1-bit pixel, it clearly shows these two colors, right? Yeah, yes, Udamya. If there are 9 bits, it's going to be 512 different number of colors that can be represented. And again, when it comes to the resolution of a picture, this explains how many pixels are there for the width, or like what is the width of the picture from pixels, and what is the height of the picture from pixels. That is what you call resolution. But this is good way. This is a good way of representing the resolution for smaller pictures, because when the picture is getting bigger, like if you think about a hoarding that you can see on the road, the big hoardings which they use for the advertisement, it is huge in length, right? So like when it is huge in size, number of pixels will also be huge in number, right? So on that case, we won't be able to represent our number of pixels for the width and for the height like this, because it can take millions of billions of amount when you are going to represent, right? So in that case, they use a unit called PPI, pixels per inch, or a unit called DPI, dots per inch, to represent the resolution. So they take a sample, right? They take a square inch and they say, okay, in this big picture, if you consider a square inch, there are this much of pixel to the in the horizontal manner, this much of pixel are in the vertical manner, right? Or else it shows how many bits are there inside a 1 square inch, the total in the number, right? So for a bigger picture, it's going to be the measurement. If the picture is small in size, we can represent the resolution like this, 250 by 75, right? Actually, this should be 250 by 175. They have missed the 1 over here, right? So which gives you 43,750 pixels. So when it comes to a smaller picture, either you can represent your resolution like this or as like this, right? But when it is going to be a bigger one, the number will be a huge one, right? So because of that, we are just considering a square inch of space, right? So inside a square inch, if the number of pixels are big in number, that means it's a very quality image. If it is less, it's going to be a low quality image, right? Now, this gives you a clear idea about that. So if you think this is a 1 square inch space, here it says 1 dpi, 1 dot per inch, just 1, right? So only 1 dot will be there. So according to the pixels number of bits, you can show different types of colors, but you won't be able to create something very smooth or something very flawless from this, right? So see what happens when the number of dots are being increased for an inch, right? So it slowly transforms into a star, right? So look at this one. This particular star contains 300 dots per inch. That means in this square, there are 300 dots inside it, right? So like 300 means like it's horizontally and vertically, people, right? So here you can say, see, if it is 2 dpi, that means 2 dots vertically and 2 dots horizontally. When it is 5 dpi, 5 dots horizontally and 5 dots vertically, right? So when it comes to the 300 dpi, that means 300 dots vertically, 300 dots horizontally, right? So as you can see, when the number of dots, or like dots per inch, is being increased, the quality of the picture will be increased. At the same time, size of the picture will be increased as well. Why? Because there are some particular bits are assigned to a pixel. So if the pixels are increasing, means that number of bits will be increased as well, right? So as an example, if you think this particular pixel or the dot having 2 bits per pixel, this particular picture is 2-bit size. This particular picture is 8-bit size because there are 4 dots. One dot is big as 2 bits, so 8 bits. When it comes to here, it's 2 into 25. That means 50 bits, right? So likewise, when it comes to here, it's 300 into 300 into 2 bits, right, in size, right? So definitely, when the dots per inch or the pixels per inch are being increased, the capacity of a particular graphic will be increased. That means if it is a high resolution graphic, that means it contains more storage than the low resolution one. Okay, people, are we clear up to this point? All right, great. So let's quickly write these things down regarding the graphics, right? So have the main heading, use of multimedia. All right, then we'll go for these things, right? Let me see whether there's anything for you to write under digital graphics. Yeah. So you don't need to have the subheading under the main heading. You can, oh no, it's better you go with the digital graphics because there are 4 different sections. So have the subheading digital graphics. Then you may write about this. Okay, people, are we done? Anyone who is still writing? Okay, moving forward. So have the subheading saying this: basic elements of digital graphics. That's going to be your subheading. So under that, we'll describe what is pixel, what is resolution, what is size, and what is color. So the subheading: basic elements of digital graphics. And under that, number 1 is pixel, and you may write these things under that. People, are we done? Yes, everyone. Anyone who is still writing this? Okay, moving forward. If anyone missed the chance of writing things, please let me know. I'm moving forward. Yeah, write down these 2 points as well. Okay, people, are we done? Okay, moving forward, let me know if anyone misses anything. Okay, Zuzu, you can have that.
For you.
Okay, thank you. You are very kind.
Broken, broken, broken. Oh.
Write this sentence as well, people. Okay, are we done? If you are done with this, I'm moving forward. Just let me know if you miss anything. And you have to write this, which is I am highlighting from a different color as an equation, you better square it around or rectangle it around. And then it's better you write down the example, this first example as well. Okay, people, are we done? Okay, anyone who is still writing?
The dancing. That's a dance.
Okay, Udamya, finish it. I'll stay. Okay, Udamya, are we done? Right, moving forward. Okay, number 2, resolution. Number 1 was the pixel. Number 2 is the resolution. Write down these 2 points. Yeah, people, the second sentence is going to be written like this: a high resolution digital graphic determine the quality of graphics. Then you have to say by the number of pixels per inch used or the number of dots per inch used. This by word should be there. So you have to put the by over here. Yes, are we done, people? Okay. Anyone who is still writing? Right. So since we have to discuss the color, we'll do it by next week, people. So my little one says the time is over now. So I'm telling you the same, right? So I'll see you on next week for the very same time. And we continue with these little theories. There are some theories for us to learn. Then we'll go for the practicals, right? So thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you on next week for the very same time. Right? Okay, everyone. Thank you very much.